To the parents, the family, and the friends of the class of '07, tonight is very special. Certainly for the grads, for all the obvious reasons. But to all of you who have had a primary responsibility for raising and educating one of our newest grads, this evening is truly an accomplishment of gigantic proportions. Parents always want to provide the best for their children. Thank you for your faith in Elder High School, for allowing our faculty and staff to be part of your son's life. I believe that God gives each person our very own combination of gifts. It was our pleasure to be a partner with you in some small way to help your son identify and develop his unique talents. It's with some regret that you as parents also bid farewell to Elder tonight, a school that hopefully has been more than books and reports for your son. It's by design that we at Elder have worked with you to reinforce the gospel lessons of Jesus Christ that you instilled at home. They stand tonight together for the last time just outside those doors, excited and ready to receive their diplomas and then go their separate ways. They really are the same young men who were sent to us in the fall of 2003. At that time, they were eagerly looking forward to high school. They have excelled in every facet of their Elder experience: academics, athletics, extracurriculars, the fine arts, in mock trial competition, and most recently, their first place and second place finish in UC's investment competition. The class of 2007 has witnessed much, both the good times and the bad. They supported one another, and they allowed the Elder family to support them, and they are stronger for it. Their favorite shirts are now faded purple. Their backpacks are tattered after 4 years of service. But their optimism is as bright as ever as they await the challenges that tomorrow will bring. They've changed in so many ways that it's hard to believe that so much could happen in 4 short years, and yet it did. On the first day that he set foot on his new campus, he heard Elder's motto, Altiora, strive for the higher things. The concept, the challenge, to do your best, never give up, work together, trust in God. Your son accepted those challenges, and within the hour, we give him a symbol of his success, an Elder diploma. This phase of life's journey leads to another. But as a member of the Elder family forever, he is aware that he has access to an enormous support system that will continue to love, care, and support him as he sets his compass for the next leg of life's journey. Tonight is another page written in the Elder story, and he will become the newest of an elite group of people who proudly call themselves Elder alumni. Tonight is for you to acknowledge your very important role in the Elder family. God bless, and Altiora.
up there, I guess. Nobody was walking up there at the time. Why not? Until we get a picture.
Set Mike up there. Get your breathing.
Christ our Lord.
Good evening, and welcome to the graduation of the Elder High School class of 2007. On behalf of my classmates, I would like to thank Dr. Matt Bosom for being with us here tonight. I would also like to thank our parents and teachers for being here and for their constant support and guidance during our time spent at Elder. Their contributions and sacrifices have undoubtedly played a large role in our past successes, and I'm sure we will continue to reap the benefits in the future as well. As we gather here tonight, I know that many of us are looking to the future. Some may be excited, others may be nervous or unsure of what the future will bring. However, we must also look back over the last 4 years to see how we have grown and what we have achieved. By doing this, I think it will be obvious that our experiences and time spent at Elder have prepared us well for whatever our lives might present. From that first nervous, unsure day as a freshman up until now, everybody here has accomplished something at Elder that he can be proud of. Whether it was a victory in a sport or competition, or getting a good grade on a difficult test, one characteristic of all these experiences stands out. That is, that all of these accomplishments were not only individual achievements, but achievements as a class. In this way, we all shared in the triumphs and tragedies that presented themselves day after day. On a personal level, I have benefited greatly from this sense of the class as a community, whether it was in an art class or with the academic team, and I'm sure that many others here would feel the same way. It is in this sense of community that Elder's greatest strength lies. The school is at its best when people are working together to achieve a common goal. The class of 2007 should take great pride in this fact, because it shows that over the past 4 years, we have grown from a disparate group with different experiences from different grade schools to become a part of the Elder family. This family, of course, does not just include us. We are adding to a long tradition that began with that first graduating class, and that will continue into the future. This Elder family has become our foundation for the rest of our lives. Regardless of what each path we may be following, we should all realize that the education for life that we have received at this school will provide a solid ground to base our future successes on. This foundation of great education and strong Christian identity will be instrumental in anything we try to achieve in the future. For this reason, we owe a great debt to our teachers and anybody who has helped us along the way. In addition to community, faith has played a large role in the development of this class at Elder. Our growth has not only been physical and mental, we have developed spiritually as well. Many of us have found a deeper respect and appreciation through our faith, some through a retreat experience, others perhaps through a simple, everyday occurrence that strengthened the bond between themselves and God. Elder High School shares a strong faith among its students and faculty that any school would be proud to have. So, to the class of 2007, tonight belongs to you. Be proud of what you have accomplished in your 4 years at Elder High School, and good luck in all your future endeavors. Thank you.
Receiving the salutatorian award as Elder's second-ranking senior is Michael P. Murphy. May we ask you kindly to withhold your applause until the entire list of graduates has been called. Thank you in advance for your consideration. Elder High School awards diplomas to the following: John Cody Jansen, Kyle Thomas Harwick, Eric M. Conroy, John A. Cionellia, Edward Dustin Kane, Matthew W. Bretnitz, Christopher L. Shaw, Anthony Michael Patako, Justin M. Primer, Christopher James Dahl, David Timothy Murphy, J. Paul Wagner, Matthew Brian Schatzman, Brian A. Corbett, Jason Shane Modafari, Brandon Scott Klein, Justin James McCoy, Jonathan J. Corbett, John Charles Irvin, Peter T. Nguyen, Samuel J. Howell, Thomas Lee Olin, John W. Butterworth, Andrew Joseph Soko, Zachary A. Clark, Andrew Jacob Dreyer, Samuel M. Dorellis, Thomas J. Kessler, Nicholas Mark Fishburne, Ryan M. Bokenkotter, Alexander M. Wilcox, Kenneth J. Sharp III, Mark M. Mercurio, Robert Michael Jones, Douglas A. Fry, Edward Christopher Dorfline, Duc Huang Do, Nicholas William Bolin, Nicholas Robert Burnson, Nicholas Alexander Squeary, Nicholas Anthony Radonia, Alexander A. Meese, Alexander J. Meyer, Nicholas J. Rui, Andrew R. Strunk, Adam James Fertke, Timothy M. Clark, Joseph C. Del Prince, Alexander R. Frank, Alexander Patrick Gunn, Brian F. Mendel, Aaron Michael Monk, Andrew Robert Webeler, Brian C. Fisher, Nathan M. Grant, Eric P. Hagedus, Austin Mac Durbin, Nicholas F. Barnes, Nicholas J. Watkins, Benjamin T. Van Offlen, Evan Joseph Uptman, Robert J. Scully, Travis Peter Schimmel, Michael Scott O'Hara, Ross A. Metz, Andrew Michael Maloney, Patrick Stephen Lund, Nicholas P. Leisman, Christopher Lee Hughes, Kevin Daniel Hyde, Brett Thomas Hoffman, Nicholas Thomas Johnson, Timothy Robert Blubers, Luke Andrew Mackey, Joseph Stephen Merschbach, Scott M. Mullen, Jason R. Roll, Alexander Lewis Schneider, Michael Anthony Souders, Colin Anthony Vale, Daniel Michael Bolrath, Justin Daniel Wilk, Matthew D. Dickerson, Michael William Figline, Zachary D. Studd, Justin N. Schoening, Randall R. Rosing, Todd Patrick Reed, Jonathan Tyler Path, Andrew Michael Nochek, Andrew C. Morency, Robert William Marcus, Kevin A. Lout, Daniel Scott Kramer, Kevin David Johnson, Michael John Hirsch, Nathan S. Hartoin, Nathan A. Gunn, Joseph A. Hartfield, Thomas D. Hammer, Brian Michael Egan, Matthew V. Kaiser, Brian M. Lout, Andrew T. Lockwood, Daniel Patrick Miller, Michael David Murray, Zachary Michael Ober, Taylor R. Pickerel, Max M. Robbins, Ted D. Rushford, Christopher L. Smith, Brian A. Wishart, Richard Kyle Lennon, Daniel Robert Kraft, Maxwell G. Hoffman, Justin Lee Hayhound, Warren William Grove, Mark A. George Jr., Keith Gregory Friedman, Robert L. Dahl, Alex William Cook, Theodore L. Ross III, Matthew Ivy Ballman, Shane Michael Adams, Andrew Thomas Zimmerman, Andrew J. Weistman, Robert Matthew Wynn, Brandon Michael Abrams, Carlos Isaac Alvarado, John Robert Bogart, Victor Robert Christoffel, Bradley A. Cruz, Cody Joseph Ferencamp, Brian R. Gates, Martin A. Grizzlebeck, Robert Joseph Hartoin, Charles Kaiser Herman, Nicholas J. Kelly, Daniel Charles Lind, Andrew Michael Mazza, Andrew Joseph Geiser, Spencer A. Klott, Nathan L. Brown, Michael David Bauer, Matthew R. Younger, Stephen T. Twilling, Mark Daniel Train, Stephen Alexander Lewis Tabler, Joshua M. Sims, Robert Joshua Shields, Paul Thomas Ratterman, Keem G. Pham, Patrick W. Nolan, Michael Patrick Murphy, Nicholas J. Newrohr, Jonathan Michael Nutter, Timothy J. Ramstetter, John Ryan Sherman, Stephen James Shore, Kevin Lee Stapleton, James Michael Topmiller, Sean Maurice Turner, Brett Michael Oppenheim, Austin J. Agerbeck, Kyle Patrick Breitenstein, Daniel C. Capel, Patrick G. Daffin, Joshua David Godby, John G. Beadle, Jeffrey M. Anevsky, Michael David Vogel, Derek Joseph Ventry, James R. Stapleton IV, Jared David Shainlock, Michael J. Revenack, Kevin Thomas Knopfner, Michael Patrick McGowan, Matthew J. Madar, Ryan A. Kelly, William T. Johnson, Andrew Lawrence Heinen, Jonathan Bernard Brody, William Joseph Grove II, Sean M. Johnson, Zachary A. Jordan, Casey James Lysett, Sean Kenneth McCarthy, Jacob Richard Meyer, Brian Samuel Intrandria, J. M. Riestenberg, Cara M. Sparks, Brian M. Tenbrink, Edward James Valari, Chad Ashton Wolf, Daniel James Beck, Timothy P. Berger, Patrick R. Williams, Robert N. Smith, Jeffrey Allen Sagbers, Andrew J. Roll, Jason Paul Rebholz, William D. Nowak, Mark William Menning, John W. Croner, Andrew Robert Kappa, Nicholas P. Hannigan, Kevin Patrick Gardner, Daniel James Edwards, Nicholas Stephen Cheney, Justin Curtis Boyce, Michael John Byrne, Michael R. Cook, Joshua Matthew Isley, Daniel W. Gerhardt, Stephen J. Eisen, Adam Richard Klingenbach, Kevin M. Melzer, Gregory David Messerschmidt, Michael D. Peters, David A. Rigdon, Kevin James Sander, Nicholas Michael Siegert, Brian K. Weller, Benjamin Richard Beadle. Kevin Thomas Wagner. Alexander James Mouch. Christopher J. Herricks. Nathan C. Williams. Patrick Joseph Sherman. Jeffrey E. Reeskamp. Jason D. Fishburne. Jonathan A. Tenbrink. Troy Woodrow Skeens. Adam S. Niemeyer. Robert Michael McNamara. William James Kirshner. Nicholas J. Dieters. Zachary Ryan Crofton. Mark J. Cupito Jr. Christopher P. Gatherite. Alexander J. Condage. Andrew N. Malott. Kevin Robert Shack. Kyle A. Steidel. Nicholas Toth. Gregory M. Metz. Kyle Andrew Schatzman. Robert Thomas Wilcher. Benjamin Earl Dreyer. Jeffrey J. Hicks. Alexander D. Rainier. Adam Gerald Dahl. And Nicholas James Holmes. The following seniors have won these. All these scholarships will be used by our seniors at the colleges designated. In addition, our seniors were offered more than 240 other college scholarships for a total of more than 400, valued at more than $8.5 million. Now we would like to award the 5 big awards at graduation. These were voted on by the seniors and the faculty. First of all, the Distinguished Service Award to the student who was outstanding in his service to the elder community, to J.M. Priestenberg. As a memorial to the Reverend Ralph C. Bangy, to the student who was outstanding in the use of his talents, both in class and in extracurricular activities. This goes to Samuel M. Jarellis. The Christian Life Award to the student who by his actions has lived the principles that Jesus taught and to which all of us are called. Gregory M. Metz. The Leadership Award to the student who was outstanding in his positive leadership at Elder, to Joseph S. Merschbach. Finally, the Archbishop Elder Memorial Award, Elder's Highest Award, to the student who best exemplifies the type of graduate that Elder aims to develop, to Benjamin R. Beadle.
Welcome faculty, staff, family, friends, our honored guest, Dr. Bosom, and fellow graduates. I stand here today, not as a mere mortal, but as part of something greater. A majestic Elder High School class of 2007. We've reached for the stars, and over the course of the years, we've evolved from the seedlings of childhood uncertainty into the confident young men you see today. I'm just kidding. I'm not honestly about to give a speech that's packed with quotes from 16th century philosophers, full of metaphors that nobody understands. What I am here to do is acknowledge a class which has proven its excellence time and time again. A class which has spent the last 4 years writing essays, typing away calculators, filling notebooks, and hearing the satisfying beep of the morning announcements just after finishing the last night's homework. I'm here as a representative you see over here. A group packed with future engineers, military personnel, businessmen, doctors, maybe even an exotic dancer or two. Nonetheless, my focus tonight is not solely on the present or solely on the future. I aim to integrate the two, and by giving thanks for the tools that our parents and teachers have equipped us with, and also pointing out that it's our turn to make the big decisions. Now, I could ramble on and on about the elder tradition and how we bleed purple and whatnot, but you guys have all heard that 100 times, and I'm sure I don't have to remind you of the intense pride that we have for our school. I would like, however, to extend a special thanks to the people who all too often go unthanked and underappreciated, the teachers. In no other school can you find such a diverse and magnificent cast of instructors. I mean, we have bear wrestlers, Wheel of Fortune contestants, teachers who look like students, teachers who look like senior citizens, and everything in between. Regardless, each and every person on the staff has tried their hardest to make your sons both academically and morally sound, and clearly, they've succeeded beyond their wildest dreams. This brings me to the graduates themselves. Each one's equipped with various unique gifts to help better serve its future and the overall good of the community. Well, except for the first 2 rows right there. I'm sorry, parents, but you may have to cut your losses for these guys. Anyway, as I was writing this speech, I took a serious look at my surroundings and realized the potential which this class truly holds. I mean, you could take any of these names off the graduation roster and list some extraordinary credits along with it, whether it relates to art, music, sports, or just genuine friendliness and acceptance of others. Everyone brings something special to the table, and each person has the ability to succeed in this adult life. Well, of course, I could stay up here all day and talk about how my class is the best, but I'm genuinely proud of this class, and I believe that we set a high standard. Though we've only just scratched the surface in regards to what life has to offer, we have a solid foundation now, which will help us endure problems and achieve success in the future. Well, I guess I'm going to start to have to wrap things up now, and I mean that literally. Give me a beat down there. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist throwing that tease in there. I mean, it's graduation. Come on, you can't really rap in front of all these adults here. That's just too crazy. So, after meeting in the lobby and that, I'll get you guys a beat or something like that. So, but anyway, on a serious note, for the class of 2007, no matter what you do, no matter what you become, if you end up being a multi-millionaire or end up selling toothbrushes behind the grocery store, you've been part of something special here at Elder. I mean, everyone here is here to celebrate you and your accomplishments. Make them proud through your words and even more so through your actions. And make sure you thank Mr. Rodman and all the faculty and staff for teaching you over these past few years. Teach your parents, what? Thank your parents for raising you, and thank each other for having one another's back over these past 4 years. But above all else, thank God for his daily blessings, which are constantly taken for granted by everyone, including myself. So just remember that, and that's all I got. For you parents out there, I'm available anytime, until 6 for speeches at graduations or etc. Just kidding. Thank you.
valedictorian award is Elder's highest-ranking senior, Samuel M. Torellis.
Who wants to follow that? I've had the pleasure of knowing our guest speaker for over 20 years. I started when he was probably 10 or 11 years old at Elder basketball camp. One of those friendly guys, a good jump shot, always there early, staying late. Got to know him then. I also got to know him further in his later grade school years, in the 7th and 8th grade year when he was a member of St. Antoninus' Elder academic team. We used to have a competition where we brought a bunch of smart kids from all the feeder schools into Elder. And I was sort of in charge of the program, but I wasn't supposed to get too involved because they wanted it to go well. So Mr. Place would make up the questions. Mr. Durger rigged up the buttons. Lights would go off. This team was locking that other team out. And all I had to do was stay on the side and kind of keep score. When the 7th grade year, Matt Bosom was for St. Antoninus, the captain right in the middle, kept hitting the button. And I'd look over to Mr. Place like, it's a 7th grade question, it's pretty tough. Did he get that one right? So I know what to flip the, yeah. So I'd get the right answer to Mr. Place, I'd flip the numbers. By the time he was in the 8th grade, I didn't need Mr. Place to tell me if it was the right answer or not. When I saw Bosom's button go off, I just started flipping the numbers because he was racking up points left and right. His career blossomed at Elder. He was still a smart kid. I got him to run the Elder Academic Show for the 4 years he was there at Elder. He was also senior class vice president. He was a member of the '93 state basketball championship team. He was valedictorian, and probably his claim to fame on the west side of town is he was classmate of Mr. Craig James. I was sad when he left because I had to get back to running the Elder Academic Show myself, and was headed on to South Bend. I think interestingly, he graduated in theology, received his degree in 1997, graduated summa cum laude, won the university's theology award. And I think the best part he'll say of his experience there is he met his wife, Molly, who was a member of the women's basketball team at the University of Notre Dame. After South Bend, it was down south, where a really nice, smart Matt Bosom became really smart, nice Dr. Matt Bosom at the Vanderbilt University, received his doctorate of medicine, graduated Alpha Omega Alpha, which basically just means if you're hurt and you have a choice, he's the guy you want to see. He did his orthopedic surgery residency also at Vanderbilt University Medical Center. He accepted a fellowship to sports medicine and shoulder surgery at Rush University in Chicago, where among other things, he was a team physician for the Chicago Bulls and Chicago White Sox. Most recently, he was a clinical instructor in sports medicine at Rush University, and I'm proud to say, coming soon to a city near you in August '07, he'll be a staff orthopedic surgeon for Cincinnati Sports Medicine. So to me, Matt Bosom is the embodiment of Altiora, always striving for the higher things. I believe his personal and professional life has been a great example of serving others and giving glory to God. It's an honor for me to introduce our guest speaker for Elder's 85th graduation exercises, Dr. Matt Bosom.
First of all, congratulations to all of you. I know the last 4 years have had their ups and downs, and each of the next steps you take will be better and harder. As you already know, very few meaningful things in life come easily. Relationships, families and friends, education and careers will all require dedication and sacrifices. Hold on to your time at Elder and use it as you go forward. Let your time at Elder shape you and help define you. Never let anything limit you. Who you are today will influence who you will become, but in no way, shape, or form will it exclusively determine who you will become. Who we are is referenced best not by our background, but by our relationships, how we interact with others. Value those relationships that make you better. Surround yourself with good people, and don't be afraid of those who challenge you to be better. Success is rarely achieved in isolation. As a point of an example, as a newly elected president, Franklin Roosevelt was faced with helping the country out of the Great Depression. In response to this task, he anointed the Brain Trust, a group of brilliant social, economic, and political thinkers to comprise his cabinet and help him guide the country. He knew he couldn't do it alone. Bill Walsh, the legendary coach of the 49ers, had on his staff at one time or another 11 different coaches who went on to coach in the Super Bowl. Collaboration and mutual inquiry drive us forward, but certainly not just in matters of politics or sports. Surrounding yourself with good people makes you a better person. Aristotle based a large portion of his ethic, the Nicomachean ethic, on his idea that one can develop ethical actions by observing what a good person would do in a given situation. For Aristotle, what is good is what is ethical. Of course, that's not always an easy act to follow. Oftentimes, the hardest thing to do and the right thing to do are the same. Don't make a bad choice simply because it's the easy choice. Never stop learning. This axiom is true, but it needs some clarification. The facts and definitions you learned over the last 4 years will be forgotten. But the ability to learn and incorporate new ideas will always be necessary. It wasn't until college and medical school that I understood that my classes were not designed to teach rote memorization of facts. Facts can always be looked up later. What my professors and teachers were doing was teaching us how to learn, not just for today, but as the saying goes, for a lifetime. Now, I hate to admit it, Mr. Rubin, but I don't even remember the basic storyline of Jane Eyre. You tested us on seemingly insignificant details of novel after novel. But in doing so, you taught me to read for comprehension and grasp details. And that's a tool I use every day as I review and edit orthopedic journals and text. Now, Mr. Neffley, I know you'll be surprised to hear that I probably couldn't even solve the simplest calculus problem today. But I can meet a patient, hear their story, examine them, develop a diagnosis and a treatment plan, effectively putting to life the story problem where I have to solve for X. But in life, you have to remember that X isn't a number or a condition. X is a person. And whether for me that person is a Chicago Bull who makes $13 million a year, or a Chicago Transit Authority engineer who makes $13,000, the human interaction is the most important. The last thing I need to discuss here are the men and women sitting behind us. I've alluded to my teachers for the last several minutes. We're all here because of them. Elder exists because of them. They've dedicated themselves to you and to Elder. Why are so many of our faculty Elder graduates? It's because they understand it and they believe in it. I'm going to modify a quote from one of my priests from Notre Dame, Father Robert Griffin. I think it helps explain what I mean. He said, if you want to belong, you have to learn the myth. You have to wrap your heart and mind in it. You have to believe the meanest rocks of the place tell a story. Behind the myth is a cast of hundreds working in loyalty for the elder of their dreams and a love affair that lasts a lifetime. This myth is made reality every day by their efforts and sacrifices. I was asked to give this commencement speech, but any semblance of success that I had was nurtured and fed by this group right here. And I couldn't be more proud than to see two of my own classmates, Craig James and Sean Tierney, with us in that faculty. The campus on the hill is not held together by mortars and nails. As the saying goes, there's blood in the bricks, yours and theirs. But remember, Elder is not just their legacy, it's ours. Thank them, support them. Now, earlier I mentioned Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. It's widely accepted that he named this work for his son. As a father of two young boys, I can understand his desire to leave a legacy for his son, something to hold on to, something you hope will make him a better man. After I accepted a job offer to return to Cincinnati, I was searching to give something to my oldest son that would help him understand the importance of coming home. He's only 3, so it couldn't be too complicated. But I found it in the form of a simple gray t-shirt. On the back, the words, "My favorite color is purple." Thank you, congratulations.
Receiving the award as Elders 2007 commencement speaker is Dr. Matthew L. Bosom.
I should save it for the walkout.
The diplomas will be distributed to the seniors at the rear of the hall immediately after they march down the aisle. This marks the closing of the 85th commencement of Elder High School. Kindly remain in your places until the faculty and graduates have marched down the aisle. Thank you very much.
Thank you.